You gotta watch this.
The thing for me is like I wasn't raised in the church. Like I was born by artificial insemination, and I was raised with two lesbian moms. And I had never been to church my whole life. And then a friend, when I was about 15 years old in high school, said, "Hey, you want to come to church with me?" And I'm like thinking, sure, why not? You know, I mean, why not? Why not?
Let's do it.
Yeah, exactly. So I went and I'm sitting there, and have you ever been to a Christian church or no?
No.
Okay, so basically how it works is like, you walk in, they have music. That's what we call worship, where we're just singing songs, thanking God for all he's done in our life, right? And we do that because we believe that when we sing to God, that his presence comes. We can actually have an experience with him. And so we're sitting there singing songs, and this is all new to me. I have no grid for any of this, right? And then after the songs finish, probably like, 30, 40 minutes, something like that, there's what we would call a pastor, kind of like a leader, right? Who comes on the stage and teaches a message out of the Bible, out of the scriptures. And so I go through the whole, it's probably about an hour and a half service, something like that. And I'm just, it was good, right? I had a good time. Nothing crazy happened, right? So I go, yeah, exactly. So I go home and I'm thinking about it, like, okay, like what just happened, right? Like I heard some songs, I listened to a pastor, I'm just asking questions. Like I've never heard about Jesus. I've never heard about God. I've never heard about anything spiritually at all.
Right.
And so what happened is over the next course of those few days after I went to church, I just started like feeling something in my heart that I had never felt before. And I was like, okay, either I'm going crazy or God is real. 100%. So then I went back to church the next week, and, the pastor was explaining what we call the gospel. So what the gospel is, right, is that God created man sinned, we made mistakes because we're not perfect, we make mistakes, right? And because of that mistake or that sin, we're separated from God. We don't deserve a relationship with him because he's holy, he's powerful, he's perfect. How can human beings have a relationship with God? We're different, And then they start talking about Jesus and how when Jesus came to the earth, he never sinned, he never disobeyed God, and he was God in the flesh. And I know from the Muslim perspective a little bit different, but I'm just sharing my story, what I heard. And so they started explaining how Jesus, when he was hung on the cross, that because he never sinned, that he became the perfect sacrifice for sin.
Right.
Because of all humans, all humanity making mistakes, we need a sacrifice. We need somebody to bridge the gap so that we can have a relationship with God.
Right.
So I started hearing all this stuff, right? And I'm like, okay, like it was kind of a lot, I was
Right.
processing it and processing, and then what happened, what really changed my life